First off, we will never ever use our 120-yard club when we have a 120-yard shot. Can we do it? We can hit it there, but the odds of us hitting it perfectly every single time are low. So whatever you do, don't use your 120-yard club from 120. So why are we talking specifically about the 120-yard shot? Well, it is because of this. Typically, you're hitting to a green from the fairway or around the fairway, and you're in that zone where you want to get it close and hopefully make a birdie. And the 120-yard number is kind of that yardage where you're going to have your full swing. Anything less, you're going to really kind of have a three-quarter swing. So we want that full swing, sort of. And that 120 number is really where it begins. So that's why we're specifically talking what not to do, what never to do from 120, because we want everybody to have great chances at a birdie. That's what we want. We want to maximize the full swing opportunities. If you're new to the channel, even if you're not new, make sure you're subscribed here so you get the latest golf instruction tips, all kinds of fun stuff here in a way that's going to help you take this to the golf course. We're not going to get all nitpicky with little tiny stuff. We're going to deal with the major issues in a way that will help you not think, but do. I see this all the time. You get in that scoring zone and you start playing shots that you never practice, ever. Guys get here, they're like, okay, 120, I'm gonna play a little cutter in there, and that's what I'm gonna do, a little fade. I gotta fade this in there. And they start doing weird things that you never do, and then, guess what? You're never in a good spot. So, never, ever, ever play a shot other than your normal shot. I don't care if the wind is blowing hard into your face and your normal shot is a super high cut shot and the pin is back left. I don't care. Play your everyday shot that you know. So here, whatever, it doesn't matter. What's my normal shot? Okay, I play a little push draw. That's what I play. So I'm just gonna aim a little right. I'm not gonna mess around from this distance. I'm gonna play the shot that my body knows. I don't want to try something different all of a sudden. Just my normal everyday shot. Great, pretty good. That's what I play. So I'm not going to mess around with things that I don't play. You should never do that either. It's only going to get you in trouble. And the last thing you want, and the thing you see the most, is guys get in that 120 range and they make a silly double bogey, all because they're trying to play a shot that they don't ever practice. So never ever do that. Play the shot regardless of conditions. Play the shot from this distance that you know. If you need to take more club because you play it high and the wind's in your face, do it. Play the shot you know every single time. Next thing is this. Never ever do this. I have 120 to the pin. Never play that number. Here's why. Things are going to happen between the ball and the hole. So if I'm playing 120 and the flag is 1, what if I mishit it a little bit? Remember, we already took a little extra club, so that's good. We've already kind of erased that 120 number. We've already played a different number. But I want to pick the number that I want. So what's the conditions of my ball? Am I in the light rough? Am I going to catch a flyer lie? Is there some water on the ball? What's going to happen when I make contact with the ball? 2, what's going to happen when that ball hits the green? Is it going to release or is it going to spin backwards? That's important. Also the wind, all kinds of conditions. You want to know, are the greens hard? Are you going to bounce and roll forward? Is it going to spin back? 120 is not my number. I need to pick a different number. It's 120 to the stick. Where do I want to land the ball? Okay, so 120, I've got the 125 club in my hand, so I'm already playing it a little bit extra, so I can take a nice smooth swing and account for a slight little miss hit. I want to go 115 yards. Okay, let's say I'm in a little bit of light rough, water's on the ball, 115. Great, now I have my number because the ball's going to bounce and kick forward a little bit. So I got 115 in my mind. That's where I'm going to land the ball based on all kinds of conditions, and it's going to kick forward, and we're going to go from there. So let's see what happened. Not bad, kicked, went a little farther, carried it 118. So I carried it 3 yards farther, a little bit right, not a problem. But I picked a number other than the flag number because what's going to happen when the ball hits the green or when it takes off, there's grass in the ball, all kinds of little things are going to affect the real number. So never just play the flag number. Always pick a different number where you want that ball to land. It's either going to back up or go forward and go from there. Never play 120 from 120 or whatever it is. These last two are critical. And the first one is this. We never want to turn our hips. I know, it sounds bizarre, but watch this. Your hips are going to turn. Don't worry about that. We don't want to turn our hips. So many times people are just trying to turn their hips back, right? And what happens is you turn your hips back and you get your weight swaying off like this. So you kind of look like this. And this kind of sways off and your weight goes from the inside of your right foot, your back foot, to the outside, and then you got all kinds of problems. So what do we want to do instead of really focused on this move here? Because I don't want your hips to do this. This is the one technical piece we got to focus on, is this. All I want you to think about is instead of your hips, I want my front shoulder to kind of go down towards my back toe here. Just move that down here. And your foot's going to feel like it's spinning out like this. That's what you want. You want that feeling here, okay? Because that's going to keep you on the inside of your back foot here. So all I'm thinking about is getting my shoulder down to my right toe here. That's it. Now I could drive off that back foot. But if I'm thinking about turning hips, then I'm out here and I can't really drive. All I do is fall back. So in this situation, all I'm really focused on is front shoulder, back toe, and that's it. That's the whole turn here, right here. And then you could drive and go. So that's going to help you tighten up these short iron shots. You see a lot of guys on tour do this little half backswing. It's part backswing, it's part getting that shoulder down toward that right toe. So that's what I'm feeling. Front shoulder, back toe is an easy kind of thought to have. Look at that. It's pretty good. Perfect. So that's thinking this, not this. This is going to mess you up. Moving on. Last thing is this, probably the most important. Never, ever, ever. This goes for like every club in the bag. Never hit down on these shots. We don't want to be driving that club down into the earth. Some people are going to have more of a steep swing than others. Not a problem. But we don't want to think hit down for a number of reasons. One is this. If we're hitting down into that shot, a lot of times we're going to take our wedge or whatever we got, 9 iron, 8 iron, and our hands are going to get so far forward, we're going to de-loft that club so much, we're going to end up turning this wedge into like a 7 iron. And I don't want this to happen all of a sudden. This super low, super long shot that goes somewhere in the bushes. All because we just did this. So should we hit up on the ball? No, we don't want to hit up on the ball either. So we don't want to hit up. We don't want to hit down. What do we want to do? Well, I'll show you right here, watch. So look, our hands are coming down. The hands are coming down as we swing. Hands are coming down, and then you're going to release. So that's causing the club head to come down also. So this is coming down, and this is coming down, and then I add down, that's bad. So we're going to have this come down. This is going to be releasing. We're going to be rotating. So everything's going to be working in sequence with each other. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to not release down. You're going to release through. Then I know you're going to ask this other question. Well, where do I release? Do I release out here? Do I release out here? Do I release over here? And it's different for everybody, but there's one simple way to figure out what's right for you. Here's what I do, and it works. I'm going to release my hands wherever my shoulders are. So if my shoulders are a little closed, I'm going to release out here. It's going to cause a little draw shot. So that's going to be with your shoulders a little shut. So maybe that's you. You have a little bit of shut shoulders, then just release wherever your left shoulder is. So if your left shoulder's this way, like so, then I'm more releasing here because I want to follow my shoulder path. It's going to help things be a little more consistent. So that would push the ball out to the right a little bit and hopefully draw it back just a touch, which it did. Those typically go a little farther because it's a little draw. Okay, great. If your shoulders are going to be more open at impact over here to the left like this, then I'm going to release out here way to the left. Wherever the shoulders are, that's where I'm going to release. So that would look something a little more like this. And then you'll have a little fade shot with that, hopefully. But again, I'm releasing wherever my shoulders are. And then if you're pretty squared up, then you're going to release pretty square down the target line. I don't necessarily like to pick a spot out there to release to. I just like to follow where my body is lined up. So if my shoulders are left, I'm releasing left. If my shoulders are right, I'm releasing right. If they're in the middle, I release right down the middle. All these things together will help you do the best things possible from this 120-yard number so that, gosh, 99% of the time, you'll have a decent look at that hole for birdie, for par, whatever you're trying to do. You do all those things. Simple. You're going to have more looks, ooh, get in there, for birdie and save more pars than ever before. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. See you in the next video.